Hi, this is Sean from Cycle News, and this is the 2026 Sherco 250 SEF Factory. We have to say that this was a really pleasant surprise. When Sherco reached out to us to ask us to test a bike, of course we first asked for the most popular model, which is the 302-stroke. When they didn't have that available, we asked about the 304-stroke, and unfortunately they didn't have one of those available either. So we ended up with this 250. But like I said, it was a really pleasant surprise. This thing really performed well, and we had a lot of fun with it. So if you're not familiar with Sherco, it's a French brand. It's actually only been around since 1998. Started off originally with Trials bikes, and those bikes are made in the factory that they have in Spain. Even though it's a French company, that's Trials' roots is really in Spain, so that's where the bikes are manufactured. And then in 2022, they transitioned over to include off-road models, as they call them in Europe, enduro models. The enduro models are actually built in France, town of Nimes, France, which is where Sherco's home base is at. There's been a little bit of turmoil on U.S. distribution for Sherco, but it has recently changed to Arkansas-based Sherco US. It's a group of really passionate enthusiasts that had the money to pull this together, and they seem to be taking it really serious. So they're the ones who helped line up getting us this bike. We've had some really good experiences with Shercos in the past, but like I said, 250 was not the 254 stroke was not the high up on our list of bikes to try, but really surprised us, and we think it'll surprise you. So we're going to go in and kind of give you a little walk around on the bike. One of the first things that you'll notice is that this bike comes with a lot of the aftermarket accessories that you would typically have to go get on your own. Most obvious, it comes with the Acropovich exhaust, comes with Brembo hydraulic clutch and brakes with Galfer rotors. Comes with an AXP skid plate. This seat and seat cover is actually pretty standout. Again, another item that most stock bikes wouldn't have. Come with Excel wheels, DID, O-ring chain. You'll see billet triple clamps up here. One of the big things for off-road, it has its own cooling fan, radiator cooling fan. That's like I said, that's an aftermarket item on most bikes. And LED headlight, hand guards come standard, and a 2.6 gallon fuel tank, which actually I was kind of surprised when we did a little comparison with all the other models. This is more fuel capacity than a lot of the other off-road bikes. And they actually have a 3.5 gallon accessory model if you want a little bit more range. So basically there's very little that you need to add to this thing. Of course, with all of that, the MSRP is a little bit on the high side compared to some other models at $12,790. But like I said, shoot, a titanium exhaust like this is, I think, well over 800 bucks. So, and skid plate and the cooling fan, all those items really would add up. So I think it's actually a pretty good, reasonable MSRP for all those accessories. Kind of like a lot of the factory edition motocross bikes. I mean, you get a lot with it, and a little bit cheaper than if you were to go buy those accessories on your own. Continuing on the spec side, so it's a 248cc double overhead cam 4-stroke. They use a Synergect fuel injection system. It's a 6-speed transmission. Continuing down on kind of the high-end components, it also has KYB 48 millimeter closed cartridge fork and KYB rear shock. 8 inches of travel in front, 13 inches of travel in the rear. It's a chromoly steel frame. So a little bit like some of the Austrian brand with the steel frame. It has a 37.4-inch seat height. But one thing I've noticed, the Sherco models, compared to some of the other bikes, it doesn't slope up quite as much. And so that's, that 37.4 is in the range of most bikes. But what I notice when you go to throw your leg over it, or when you're kind of like trying to like sit back on the seat and, get traction on a climb, it feels a little lower and is a little bit easier to manage. I have to say, this seat is a really nice seat. It's one of the nicer seats, probably one of the nicer production seats on any bike. It's a little wider and flatter on the top, but this really grippy seat cover also just helps keep you planted. As far as weight goes, we measured this thing on our own scales with a full tank of fuel at 254 pounds, which is pretty competitive with all the bikes in the class, and especially when you kind of account for the fuel. It's nearly a gallon more fuel than some of the other 254 strokes, for example. I told you this bike surprised us. Probably the thing that surprised us the most is this 250cc motor. We've ridden some of the Shercos in the past. They just weren't very impressive. This latest generation, which actually came out last year, the 25 model, is really an impressive motor. It's got plenty of power for the high-speed trail sections and all that, but it also is really luggable and tractable. We rode this on a lot of tight single-track trails, hills, rocks, slippery conditions, and the thing really works well. And with that 6-speed transmission, it actually has the range for both those slow speed sections and the high speed sections. The fuel injection tuning is pretty much spot on, no issues there. Like any 4-stroke, it'll stall on those really tight technical thing, kind of the worst possible moment, but no worse than any other 4-stroke. In fact, probably even slightly better. So we enjoyed it even on the tight techie stuff that you would normally want to have like a 302-stroke on. This Akrovich exhaust, they're really quiet relative to other bikes, but man, when you get on it, it just has a sweet sound. It makes you want to twist the throttle just to hear the thing sing. It's pretty awesome. It does have 2 engine maps with the switch up here on your right-hand side. I have to say it's not a huge noticeable difference in the power. One is more of a high speed, I guess setting, and the other is the more lower speed techie setting. You could ride even the slow stuff on either setting, and it still ran fine. You could feel the difference is on the more high-speed stuff, the kind of more aggressive map, I guess. You can feel a little bit there, but again, not a significant noticeable difference. Kind of continuing on kind of motor-related, it's a Brembo controlled hydraulic clutch, typical wet clutch inside. It's works really well, very easy to modulate. It's an easy pull on the lever, so yeah, that makes it a little bit easier to modulate the power. What impressed us the most was that really low-speed techie stuff, where the motor ran good, the clutch worked good, the fuel injection mapping is good, so it all kind of worked together really well. Kind of transitioning over to the chassis side, this thing feels very comfortable, like just overall, as far as performance goes. The KYB suspension is tuned for, I would say, aggressive trail riding. I'm 165 pounds. It worked really well for me. The other 2 test riders that tried it were kind of in the similar range, so we kind of were in that sweet spot of what most bikes are kind of designed for. I think even unless you're a pretty serious racer, you could race this thing right out of the box. It's the proper settings where it doesn't blow through the travel, but it's got good compliance on all the small stuff. The chassis overall feels very stable on high-speed stuff. It holds a line really well. We rode a ton of single track with some side hills and all that, and the thing just held its line really well. So we were really happy with that. The Brembo brakes, Galfer rotors and all that worked really good. We got a little squealing on the front brake when you really pushed it, but the thing performed fine, so yeah, no issues there. Like I said, overall feel, of how it reacts to terrain and all that stuff is really comfortable. I think all of us that got to try the thing really were immediately happy with it. As far as kind of the rider cockpit and all that, all of us again that rode it really found it really comfortable. It has Oxia handlebars, which are pretty well-known brand in Europe. About the only thing I'd say we didn't like, probably about the only thing I could really complain about on the whole bike really is these are Domino branded Sherco grips. They're really narrow with a really minimal feel. If you like a really narrow grip, you might like it. All 3 of us that rode the bike, it was not high on our list. So that's an easy, cheap swap though to swap out to something your own preference there. The overall bodywork and shape of everything, nothing really gets in your way. Feels very easy to move around on. It's got the embedded graphics on the side shrouds, which hold up a lot better. Standard graphics more on the back here and those kind of things. So like I said, you can grip the bike, you can, no issues with anything hanging up or anything. The dash, pretty similar to any other enduro dash, you know, has time and speed and 2 trip odometers that are resettable for doing enduros and things like that. That's pretty standard equipment. It does have a feature where you can set hour limits, to where if you wanted to alert you to maintenance needs, which is kind of slick, like that feature. It does have a headlight. Kind of looking around, is kind of comparing to other 250 4-stroke off-road bikes. Kind of surprised actually that there's currently, anyway, there's not many other 250 off-road bikes. There's the Triumph has a bike, Yamaha has a bike with a headlight and all that. It's that I consider, you know, a performance 250 4-stroke. But this is actually a little better headlight than most stock off-road bikes come with. So it's decent. I mean, most of these things are not really great for riding, you know, doing serious off-road riding at night, but they're really nice to have to get back. A lot of the other 250 4-strokes that are on the market, the KTM is an XC model, which does not have a headlight. The Honda CRF 250 RX, you know, does not have a headlight, things like that. So the KX 250X as well does not have headlights. So I think for me, if I'm doing off-road riding, I definitely like having a headlight. It also does have a taillight on it, but just in case you get stuck out there, it's nice to know, you know, that you got a light to get back, which is a nice feature. As far as things we would want to add to this thing, like I said, this thing comes with pretty much everything that you would want. If you're pretty serious, you know, I'd probably throw radiator guards on it, the disc guard on the rear, maybe a disc guard on the front. But otherwise, this thing comes with, you know, most of the items that you're really going to want. You know, if you're doing hard enduros or anything serious, which most people wouldn't be doing with the 250 4-stroke. So, you know, for most off-road riding, you know, maybe, you know, a few of those items that make it a little bit more durable. But like I said, it comes with an AXP skid plate, comes with a lot of the items that you really already, you know, would need for that kind of stuff. You know, the skid plate, the radiator cooling fan and stuff like that. As far as, you know, kind of our overall, you know, verdict on this thing, like I said, this wasn't the first bike we wanted to test amongst the Sherco line. It was at least number 3 on the list. But I have to say, after riding it, especially if you were somebody that was going to be racing any 250 off-road races where you need a 250, this thing is going to be competitive in the class for sure. The overall chassis, suspension, components, and all that. I think it would surprise you. It's really, you know, a good high-performance 250 4-stroke off-road bike. So in that way, definitely a good choice. It's kind of not much left to be done other than, you know, your own personalization, you know, items. Great for racing, fun for trail riding, much more fun than we expected. So like I said, it surprised us, and I think it surprised you. If you're looking for more details, we have a full test, detailed specs and all that in Cycle News Magazine and on the Cycle News website. If you're not already a subscriber to the Cycle News YouTube channel, please click that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.